today's just a special day, and I'm excited to be ushering in springtime with all of you, because that's really what March is all about, right? It's the time that the seasons change, and so do we, right? It's our opportunity to transform. So something I love about all these different religions that we study is there's something for us of value. Even though we might not have been raised in certain cultures, there's something relatable in all cultures that gives us something meaningful, something that we can use to help us to understand ourselves and our nature and our spirituality. And right now we're starting for three of the major holidays for Judaism, or religions, for Judaism, Christianity, and also for Islam. There's three big holidays for them. We've got Ramadan for Islam. We've got Easter, obviously, for Christianity. And the Jewish people have Passover coming up in April. And there's a common theme for all of them, and it's about spiritual renewal. It's all about spiritual renewal. And this gives us the opportunity of reflection, to be able to see what is standing in the way of our spiritual renewal. How are we not connecting with that deeper well of who we are, that deeper energy that is expansive? What is standing in the way? And these holidays give us that opportunity through different rituals and customs. And last Wednesday was Ash Wednesday, and that's the beginning of Lent. That's when you're supposed to give up something, right? You're supposed to release something. It's part of the practice, part of the ritual, to be able to get you in a state where you have to think about something bigger than your habit of having chocolate every night or not eating meat, whatever it is to you. It's designed to give you an opportunity to take a step back and not indulge yourself in distraction. And that's really what these holidays are all about. In Judaism, as we prepare for Passover, we do all of these rituals, one of which is burning of the chametz, which is the bread. We clean the house, we make it nice and tidy, we burn all the bread in preparation for our Passover celebration. And in Ramadan, there's fasting, all day fasting, and other things that keep away the distractions so that we can see God, basically. And so it's a rough time. And David and I, we talked about, we're going to be pissed off. And I think these rituals kind of piss us off, right? I don't want to deprive myself of something I love. I don't want to not eat bread for 7 days. Trust me, in my family, that was horrifying. Nobody wanted, we were bread lovers. What can I say? You know, I don't want to not eat all day long. But you know what? Our soul craves something deeper, right? Our soul craves connection to spirit. It craves it. And that's why these holidays are so useful for us, because it feeds our soul. It allows us to stop being so focused and distracted by this physical reality and dive deeper into a different reality that is deep within us, that is our soul, and to renew that. And so this is about purifying ourselves. Passover, Ramadan, and Easter, purifying ourselves, getting ourselves all cleaned up, cleaning our consciousness. You know, we're going to take this right into new thought right now, because what I know about all of us is that there is a oneness that's right there that we're always in. We are always one with our divine nature, but we forget about that because life happens. And so this is bringing us back to purifying our consciousness in a way where we can really see ourselves as God, which is what we teach here. And what's really cool about this, what I kind of was thinking about, is that this whole idea of release is part of the balance of our beingness, of our emotions, of our physicality, of our spirituality. Release is part of circulation, right? We have all this intake. We have spiritual intake, emotional intake, and it has to go out. And that's where release comes in. And so in order to keep ourselves balanced, we've got to release stuff that's accumulated, that doesn't serve us anymore. We've already gotten as much as we're going to get out of it, and it's time to let it go. But for some reason, we love to hold on to everything, right? I'm right there with you, by the way. I'm not saying I'm there and you're not. I am there with you. I don't like letting go. But this holiday and our month of release is turning us to look at that which we need to let go of. Could I have my first slide, please? So Ernest Holmes Ernest Holmes says, do you like that? I guess you like it. It is necessary that we release all thoughts as well as things that clutter up our lives. And you know what? We have a lot of clutter, not just physical clutter, but clutter inside of ourselves. You know, we talk about forgiveness here, and to me, forgiveness is all about clutter. We're cluttering up, like David spoke about. There was something inside of himself, and I believe you kind of pointed to grief, that there was grief that was cluttered up inside of him. And it took that dream to open himself up to see what needed to be released, which was this acknowledgement and then the processing of that. And so it's all about really identifying, where are we cluttered up? You know, we go unchecked. We go unchecked with ourselves, and it's so important. That's why I love our philosophy, because we're mindful. We're always paying attention to our minds so that we can see what's going on, because our minds are so powerful. And this whole idea with these spring holidays and with release as our theme this month is we are being mindful of the balance of ourselves and what is cluttering up and keeping us from seeing our divine nature. Because life has gotten away from us. We haven't been paying attention to what we need to pay attention to. And we need to clear the closet of our minds out so that we can be in that flow and that harmony. That's really what we're gearing ourselves to do here. And yeah, we're going to get pissed off about it, all right? Got it. So our circuits get clogged, right? Our circuits get clogged where we've been upset for over a year about something and we haven't been dealing with, and we're not feeling that love and that divinity that we are, and that clutter needs to be released. And so this is the month where we're going to go ahead and do that. Could I have my next slide, please? So I love this quote. It's by Sherry Carter Scott, and she says this: "Once you become aware of what stands in your way and become willing to release it, you signal the universe that you are ready to manifest the life you were meant to live." I think that's a very strong quote, because we teach here about energy, right? We teach that we are energy and we're always vibrating. And what I love that Dr. James is really diving into is feeling. So your feeling is sending signals to the universe. So if your signal is all about clutter and restriction and there's no room for anything, then nothing's coming in. But if your energy and your feeling state is released and it's clear and it's open, the universe is going to pour into all this wonderful stuff that's on your heart to live into. And like she says, we're signaling the universe that we are ready to manifest the life that we are meant to live, meaning the life that truly is on your heart to live. So we've got to open that channel. The channel is so important. And yes, we've got to do the work. We've got to be brave and courageous and see what we have not been letting go of. We've got to let it go because it's not serving anymore. And so I'd like to bring up my next slide right now, which is my talk title. Finally, she's got it. My talk title is Give It Up. Give it up. Give up anger. Give up resentment. Self-doubt. Give it up. Unforgiveness.
Give it up.
Blaming others.
Give it up.
Getting really pissed off at everybody.
Give it up.
That's what we're going to do this month. We're going to give it up. And what I love about the word up, and Dr. James teaches about this, up is UP, unlimited possibilities. Because when we give it up, we are opening ourselves up to unlimited possibilities. Do you see how this word is working now? This opening up, letting go, releasing so that the good can come in. Well, I'm going to share a really personal story with you. And this is so personal. I don't know if I've ever gotten this personal before. So it came to me last night. One thing about stories and giving talks is you never know when something's going to just drop in. Because this whole idea of giving up, I mean, how did you feel? Did you say, yeah, I'm ready to give it all up? Or were you like going, oh my God, don't ask me to give a thing up because my life is perfect and I don't want to disturb it? Because that's how I feel. When somebody says to me, give it up, I go, don't tell me that. I don't want to hear that. And so I feel that way. So if you're feeling that way, you're in very good company. There's resistance because giving up could require change. It could require that things are going to shift in our lives. And that's a big deal. And so I had that experience when I was probably about 4 years old. I had this thing I called a mano. And my mano was my little blanket. And it was a schmata. Does anybody know what a schmata is? It's like a rag. It was this rag. And I think it was something that I got attached to because it was in my crib. And I used to play with it. And I like ripped it apart. And there was this really cool tactile thing that I had with my mano. And so I carried it around with me everywhere I went. And my mom and dad, they thought it was so cute. There's Dale and her mano. And I'm walking around. Yeah, it was such an anxiety reliever for some reason. I just loved it. And I came to the point where I was going to be going to nursery school. And my mom would say, you can't take your mano with you to nursery school. And it's like you're 3 years old. What? No, mano goes wherever I go. And my sister who I absolutely adore my sister. She's 5 years older than me. And just as an aside, she did not like it when I was born because I ruined everything for her. Everything. Oh my God. She used to put me in a suitcase. It was so funny. Oh my God. I swear, we have pictures of me, and I'm just like this little baby sitting in a suitcase, and she's got this diabolical look on her face looking at me. Yeah, that suitcase is leaving. So it was so funny. And so that was the nature of our relationship until I started getting strong, and we had a whole other different thing going on. But anyways, so she would look at me and she'd go, that mano, she goes, you can't have that forever. Mom's going to do something with it. And it was so panicky for me. And so the day came where my mom said, give me your mano. We have to put it in the trash. And I was so mortified. But my mom, you didn't say no to her. She was very strong. And so I had to give up the mano. And so the mano went in the trash because it was a rag anyways. And I remember feeling really, really insecure about myself because I had given my mano, I can't believe I'm even saying this, I had given my mano all this power to give me peace of mind. I had endowed it with meaning. And when I didn't have it anymore, it put me in a space of reconsidering in my 4-year-old mind if I really did need that mano after all. And I realized I didn't because I had a life that was so fun and I had toys and I had a great home that I lived in. So it was really quite an awakening for a 4-year-old. And so it brings me to today, this idea of giving up, because I think a lot of us have that attachment to things, which is what these holidays are teaching us to do, to be detached so we can find what's real and true, which is our spiritual wholeness, because that's really where the permanency is, not in these things. It's all about our spiritual wholeness and centeredness. And so as I let go of my mano, I'm reminded that whatever's in my life today, if I could let go of that, I can let go of other things that are not serving me anymore, whatever they might be in your life. And I know you all have a feeling about what those things are, and you don't want to deal with it. But this month, we're going to contemplate it, and you don't need to throw your mano away. You can hold on to it, and you can just allow yourself to consider the possibility of letting go of all these different things that's time has come. And so when we're dealing with this idea of release, I think what it comes down to is fear. We're really afraid. That's what gets activated. We're afraid of emptiness. We're afraid that we can't live without whatever this is. Who will I be if I don't have that in my life? My life will change, but what does that mean? So there's all these questions that are kind of subterranean that start to come up when we consider releasing. Could I have my next slide, please? So Michael Singer, who wrote The Untethered Soul, which is the book they're studying on Wednesday, he says this: fear is caused by blockages in the flow of your energy. When your energy is blocked, it can't come up to feed your heart, right? That's the issue here. We think this is all about deprivation and needing to let go of stuff, but what we're doing here is we're reestablishing our connection to our heart by letting go of the fear, of it all. And I want to go on with another thing that Michael Singer says. He's so brilliant, and it's such a great book, The Untethered Soul. He says this: fear doesn't want to feel itself. It is actually afraid of itself. So you utilize the mind in an attempt to manipulate life for the purpose of not feeling fear. And so these things that we get attached to that aren't good for us, it's simply our trying to manipulate our mind to not feel fear. So we get into these relationships, whether they're a relationship with somebody who's really not right for us, we stay in it. And ladies, We're known for staying in relationships way too long, are we not? I hear it all the time, that we stay in relationships way past the expiration date because, right? I hear, and I've been there, I've done that myself. I was with somebody, my first boyfriend, he was so adorable and cute, but he wasn't right for me. And he was kind of one of those rebellious relationships because he was like everything that my family wasn't, and they would hate him. So I went for that rebellion. Anyways, but I stayed with him and we broke up and got together for like 7 years. I wasted all this time with him. And I thought, right? And I should have released him after the first breakup. That should have been like done, but no. But I was afraid. I was afraid because I was very insecure about myself and I didn't think I could do any better. And so I thought, I got to keep this guy in my life because this is it. And I was telling my mind a lie. That's not true. But where my consciousness was at that time, I believed it and I accepted it. And so I created bad decisions, right? And so it was all about fear. I see that now. And Michael Singer goes on to say this: people don't understand that fear is a thing. It is just another object in the universe that you're capable of experiencing. You can do one of two things with fear. You can recognize that you have it and work to release it, or you can keep it and try to hide from it. And so I think the time has come for us to stop hiding from our fear, because look what it drives us to do. It drives us to make unhealthy decisions for ourselves that are not allowing that flow of the divine that we are to really be in us and expressing as us, because we're living in fear. And fear is not about being in love and being in our divine self. And so it's time for us to recognize the fear that comes up when we start thinking about what we need to release. That's what to look at, is the fear. Check that out. And like Michael Singer says, stop being afraid of fear. It's just a thing. It's just an experience. It's an energy. And you have the ability to say no and to choose differently and to know who you are right here, which is that spirit that you are. Go there to heal whatever you're afraid of. And then your decisions will be better. You'll be living in wholeness. You'll be bringing forth your greater reality. But it really is about the fear. That's what we're going to release, so that all this great stuff that you want to bring in has a chance to make its way in, because you're creating space, right? Cleaning the inner closet. And so what would a talk be without a personal quote? Because I'm getting into my own quoting now. So let's put up my quote. And I had to change it, but I'll read it. You gotta just get it out there, right? Okay, so here's my quote for you all. As we search our hearts for what we need to release, we must come to the realization that it is not about cleaning the closet or ending the relationship, but it is about remembering who we are. Then the release is effortless. And I do encourage you to clean your closets. I do encourage you to do a little inner inventory and see what's going on in your life that really does not belong there anymore. Do all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, it isn't about the stuff we're letting go of. It's about remembering who you are. When you really, 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 really remember who you are and feel it. And we all feel that divine nature differently. To me, it might be a warm, fuzzy experience. For someone else, it might be more of an expanded, more of a head thing, or more of a body thing. We all experience that divine nature differently. So don't go looking for answers from others. Feel it in your own heart and just let yourself get to know what that is. Because the more you know who you are and get into that state, releasing is effortless, because you will not stand anymore to have anything in your life that does not serve you, that does not support you in your growth and your expansion. You will have none of it, because when you know who you are, you only bring the best to you, and you'll only allow the best into your life. So remember who you are. Get into that. That is the simplest way in to being able to release. And yeah, you might get pissed off along the way, but that's okay, because this is about transformation. And we just don't know what we're going to bump into with our feelings. But open the door to it. Open the door, because you're strong, you are divine, you have all the energy of the universe inside of you at your beck and call to utilize into this life that you are creating. It is all there. And so dive into it. Clean out whatever needs to be cleaned out, and remember who you are, because that's going to make cleaning it out that much easier.
Right on.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're such a sweetie. So, in closing, I just want to say we're all in this together because releasing can be very uncomfortable. And I still have my releasing to do. But it's really, really comforting to know that I have this huge spiritual community I can lean into, a community that is all about expansion and growth, that isn't afraid to look within, that isn't afraid to say, I made a lot of mistakes and that's okay. To have a community that loves everybody unconditionally, that respects everybody, and that knows who we are, and that we are all one, and that we all are expressions of a magnificent energy that is everywhere present, that is perfect, whole, and complete. That is who we are. And as we journey through our transformations together, supporting each other, it makes it that much easier to expand ourselves, to be able to release what needs to be released, and move forward in our lives as one. And so I honor all of you for this month of release. You're in good company. We've got practitioners and ministers that can help you along the way. I might be calling one or two, but we're here to help you. We're here to do this together so we can really shed all of that stuff that is not in congruency with our divinity. It's time to set it aside and rise up together. Thank you for listening.